This conference will now be recorded.
I will never get over.
How dare you?
All right, here we go. Last we found our heroes, they were bartering for goods in the cantina as Kier unsuccessfully attempted to hold it up. Plo failed at gambling but redeemed himself by convincing the bodyguard to sell him his rifle. Gonzalo and Faso went on a trek across the spaceport to pick up weapons that they may or may not have obtained under questionable circumstances. The reunited group outside the cantina determining what their next steps are.
Lots of failure everywhere.
Yeah. For initiative.
Crossbow and a knife.
Yeah. All right, this is my roll.
11.
3.
Case rolled a 3. Don't roll for me.
I'm rolling here. I got a 11
I got a 6.
with my initiative modifiers at 2, 9.
Right, what's
10,
my
11.
initiative modifier? So
What's your
it hasn't come
dex?
through yet.
You haven't got your sheet yet?
You just add your dexterity modifier here, which
I
is.
know, but this is the most updated one. That's
Is it
the only
more?
I don't think that has changed.
You didn't get 3 with mod, right?
Yeah.
May I have your attention, please?
Oh, initiative.
6.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Yeah, you add 4 to it.
You're 9. You're
9 with initiative modifiir.
15.
It's also 6.
Ayo.
12.
12. No, 14.
14.
Jesus.
How do you roll 6?
All right.
I got 12 altogether.
Adam, you rolled an 11,
Yeah,
and you have a mod of 4. Did you get your sheet?
no, but just that's from the old one. I don't know if it's the same time.
His dexterity probably haven't changed from the first session to the second session.
Haven't leveled up.
He still gets a 4.
Yeah, we haven't leveled up yet, so the stats won't have changed yet.
All right, let me get my own character sheet then real quick.
What was that, Jace?
I'm gonna grab my old character sheet real quick.
Jace, your voice sounds terrible.
It's the mics.
Are you using a Mac?
I don't think the mic he's using on his headphones is actually working. That's not what he's actually using. He plugged them in, but it didn't change in the app.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Case, you had a 3 with a mod of 6. Alex, you had an 11 with a mod of what?
I got a 9 with a mod of 2, so 11.
Oh, you're at 11, okay. Jace, say what he rolled.
He might have. Who knows?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give him an 8 then, because he's gonna go last.
Oh, wait, I think he said 9.
Oh, he's
9.
coming back.
Jace, did you roll? You gotta wait until he gets a
He
second.
can't hear. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you printed out a sheet.
Jace, put your headphones in. What did you roll?
I got a 6.
Oh, you got a 6? Okay.
Is it
6.
headphones not in?
6 mod 6, so you're at 12.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then Mike, what did you roll?
I rolled a 9 with a mod of 6.
Okay.
I can't believe I ever went first last session.
Yeah, right. Adam and Mike, can you roll again one more real quick? Just whatever, whoever gets a higher number will go first.
That's a 19 on Adam's side. That's a 23.
Wow. I got a 17.
Thanks, Rye. The text came through.
Okay. All right. Order is going to be Adam, Mike, Jace, Alex, Case. Adam, start us off, sir. What would you like to do? Kier. Plo, sorry.
What should I do?
Do you think you have feet on us? Do you think we have heat on us from fucking up the
language? Grammy's
from
down here.
messing up the weapon thing? You think we have feet from Jason holding up the bar?
It's fucking
Well,
up the
let's see.
luggage.
Let's see. What hangar are we at, Ryan?
We're standing right outside the cantina right now.
Okay. I want to go explore one of those hangars that we passed, or Alex and Mike passed in the other adventure.
What is your end goal for that?
Yeah, I don't remember specifically which one it was, but didn't you say that there was one with like some suspicious activity going on?
There's
I
like
can-
stormtroopers around too somewhere.
I can review what was in the hangar since we've already gone past them all. We've already at least seen a little bit of what's in each
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
So as you look towards, if you want, you actually go ahead and you kind of already know this, so I'm just going to reshare. Hangar 1, you have your per planet transport, your in planet transport. 2, you have your near planet transport, and hangar 3, you have your galaxy transport, anywhere in the galaxy. And 4 was the droid shop where everyone was, where Alex or where Gonzoro and no, I can't remember any of the names.
Also,
Yeah, Gonzoro and Faso were met the pit droids and fought them. 5 is a parking lot where it looks like there's some ships for sale. 6 is empty. 7, there's a ship. 8, there's a ship, and 9, there is an Imperial shuttle with a couple stormtroopers in it.
Mm. Interesting.
So maybe we want to check with the party first and see kind of what the goal is and what it is that we want to do.
How much gold does everyone have? I have 25, or I have 2,050.
980.
Jesus.
I have
I
800
have-
credits.
Jesus.
I have 4,345.
I am poor.
Rich.
I've got 1450.
Do you want to go to try to fly somewhere?
I am a mere monk.
Where do you want to fly to?
Anywhere but here.
It's just
I think Casey has an idea.
I do.
They want to get off the planet.
Iceland.
Yeah, everyone's kind of in agreement that they want to get off the planet, and everyone has kind of something that they want to do or something that's bothering them right now. So if we want to look back at some of the things that people are struggling with, like here, you're kind of struggling with just like, where do I fit in sort of thing, and what can I do to help the galaxy, as we're kind of struggling with there's a lot of Imperial presence everywhere and just a lot of oppression going on with that. And Fasa, you're still a young up and coming Jedi sort of thing, and you struggle with, this difficult past that you've had, and your struggling with where your master is. Like you feel like he is, or you are under the impression that he is dead and don't know, and there's people coming after you all the time because you're an escaped slave. Here, your family, you kind of abandon your family, and there's still some bad blood there, and you're carrying this lightsaber that is emotionally painful and emotionally draining for you to be using, because it's just like you hear someone screaming like as you're wielding it, so you refrain from using it, and this is part of the background, like part of what makes you who you are, just like this difficulty, but you also feel so drawn to and by the Force. And like Gonzoro, you have a very similar history of like this struggle on Kashyyyk, where you've seen hundreds of people die. You were away at the time, so you feel a lot of personal responsibility weighing down on you, of feeling like you need to kind of develop the next home world for the Wookiees, and just kind of give back to that community, because you feel like you were part of the reason that there was a lot of destruction there at the time. And then, of course, slightly more selfish, Ain is really driven, again, primarily from her family, but it can come off as selfish sometimes, primarily driven from her brothers being taken by the Empire to be trained as Sith Inquisitors, and she doesn't know what happened to him, and she'd love to get to the point where she can confront the Emperor face to face, where she has enough power to be able to meet with him and basically make a plea to stop and be able to get them freed. So that's kind of where everyone, very high level where everyone is at right now. So we don't all need to stick together, but it'd probably be more fun if we do.
Yeah. Don't split the party. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
All
Can we
right. So
talk freely, or do we need to use our turns to talk to other characters?
No, we can talk freely. It probably makes sense to discuss what it is that we want to do, like what do we want to accomplish. We're here as a team, right? So let's see what it is what makes sense to start tackling. Like, what do we want to do?
I think we should work our way to the Emperor.
I
think he's
just
a
kill
real
him straight off.
Son.
But
So
I
I
also
need
think
like
he might-
literally just a minute to rest to recharge my force powers. But if Ryan will let me, I'd like to make a knowledge check to see where the next best place for us to leave would be, or our next destination should be.
Heck.
Oh,
I
you
can't remember which
comparing
knowledge
now?
I took, but
Okay. Yeah, Alex, we can do that.
The height, what are we doing?
I don't know.
Alex,
it just says knowledge, and that's an intelligence check with no modifier for me.
So just what's,
Without that rolling the die?
without rolling the die?
He's just
I don't
making
add anything.
Alex's.
I don't add a number to this die that I'm rolling.
Do you want
Should we all do it?
to use the force with it, Alex?
What I want to use the what?
Do you want to use the force?
Does that use up one of my force points?
If you use a force point, yeah, but
Well, it's my turn. Let me do a knowledge check to see what we should do, because I have a +8 modifier.
Heck yeah.
So I rolled an 18 plus 8 is 26 for a
That's pretty-
knowledge.
all right. So you guys know you have decided that you need to get off this world, and we're trying to figure out. No one seems to be currently having any issues except for Kier. I mean, he's clearly tortured by this weapon that he wields, but it's a family heirloom, and he has some attachment to it. Although it's mostly historical, and even though he's tortured by it emotionally, it never seems like he can leave, and it's just something he feels like he has to have or has to keep. But at the same time, he can replace the crystal in it. So what I think as a group what we want to do is see if we can find a kyber crystal.
That would be beneficial to me as well. I also need a card crystal.
All right.
That works for me.
Should we go beat up those stormtrooper thugs?
I kind of want to.
I want to know what's in it for me.
Yeah, I don't.
I think
don't see any
prep our
benefit.
escape and then get the heck out of Dodge.
What?
The benefit is getting off this world.
So what we should do first is set up our escape route off world, go beat up some thugs, and immediately jump ship.
I don't even know you.
Maybe you've always known me.
Where are y'all met?
But I do agree with Adam because I don't have a weapon, and we helped Jason's character. I can't remember any of the names. I'm sorry.
You try to help all of our characters and failed. I helped Alex's
It
character.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I know that if we jump some stormtroopers, they might have weapons.
I mean, I wanted to talk to them anyway,
Okay.
so I guess I'm down.
Well, I think you
I
should
should order
scratch my back.
8 or 9, whichever one the Imperial shuttle is at.
Let's
head to
let
that one.
Karen over here make her first pass at diplomacy, and if that doesn't work, we can jump in and start fighting.
All
I'd
right,
like to talk to the manager.
Adam, you're going to get in the little transport and try and go over to 9, or hangar 9? All right.
Is everyone else coming with?
I would join him on my turn.
I have a weapon. I'll go help Adam.
Well,
but-
while we're on the transport though, Ryan, I'd be doing my 1 minute rest to regain my force powers. I'm assuming it lasts longer than a minute.
Yeah.
Cool.
Your force powers, I haven't set the amount of, you haven't actually used them yet, did you?
Yeah,
I
he's looking
absolutely. I
for it.
obliterated that droid, and I may or may not have used.
Oh, on
I
the other
I
turn.
used
Yeah.
2 out of the 3.
Before we left.
I can
Yes.
only use them once, and I need to rest for a minute to gain them back.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because you're still fairly weak as a Jedi right now, so yes. We're gonna say 5 turns total. And then you're already 3 in it, so you have 2 more turns, all right? Before you have enough energy to utilize them again.
So
And
if there are 6 seconds in a turn, I have 12 seconds left of my 1 minute.
I think our turns are a little bit longer than 6 seconds, and not just saying in turn, but even in gameplay, our turns are a little bit longer than that.
Okay, cool.
Why? I have a question.
Wait, why is that in combat duration, or is it just like?
Combat duration is probably more 6 seconds. It's probably closer to 6 seconds, but in
I should be
non-combat,
able to get those back just by riding the shuttle, though, right?
yeah, we'll probably be close. Yeah, I think we'll be pretty close to that because the shuttle is not super quick, as you may recall. All right, Mike, what are you doing?
Okay, so first, can I know who's coming along with us? Or no, I want to ask Adam if I come and help you with these droids or the stormtroopers, what's in it for me?
What do you need?
It would be nice if I would take if you bought me a health pack or a piece of armor.
How much are health packs? I do have a lot of money.
Or medium armor. I would prefer medium armor, but just saying.
A med pack is 100 credits, and I don't know where you're finding a medium armor. So
I just see on my character sheets, like
The
under the feet
vendor has
section.
has a blast helmet and vest, which is light armor, and which is 500 credits. Or and a flex suit, which is also light armor, which is 2,000 credits. This is all information you already possess, which is why I'm giving it to you.
Okay, yeah, because you told us what he was selling already, right?
Yeah.
Is this specifically at the
This is
cantina?
specifically the cantina. That's the only vendor that you're aware of.
Okay, can you go up?
Well, my character loves to help people, so Mike, if this encounter goes well, I'll buy you a health pack.
Okay, a health pack sounds good.
And Mike, do you want to go ahead and roll a perception check? I'm assuming you're jumping in the thing with him.
Yep, that's the plan.
transport. All right.
Let me roll. I got a 6 with a. Oh, I got a 5. -1.
So as you get into
Oh, you blindly, Adam.
the transport, you again are aware of the big radar dish in the middle of the spaceport, and then you see something chained up that looks like it's really gnawing at the bit to get away. And then to your left, you see, like, off in the distance, a big massive something, and then a bunch of little white dots standing around there as well.
Okay.
Useful. All right, Jace, what would you like to do?
I'll be the getaway driver. I'll be the getaway driver.
You're gonna- I still can't understand. I can barely understand what your mic is doing.
God, so annoying. I'm gonna drive away.
Jason, he wants to be the getaway driver.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
getting. The transport is on tracks. It goes by itself.
Yeah, ship.
I'm the getaway driver.
For the ship, okay. All right, for the ship. Go ahead and roll a perception check as well.
Perception. 18 total.
18 total.
Yeah.
Stand by. Just to check. Just a sec. I'm looking at one thing. All right. You notice that there's a little group of Jawas that's really admiring your lightsaber, and they're kind of being a little aggressive with it. Like they really they're trying to grab it and trying to take a look at it up close, and like they're even like holding out some credits for you and like trying to buy this off of you.
Sell it.
This is like as you're trying to get into the transport. They're just kind of grabbing at it a little bit, and there's it looks like there's 4 of them.
So where do I have to go for the ships again?
Everyone else is heading towards the ships. That's what you're saying? That's what you are. I was led to believe you were getting into the transport because you wanted to be the getaway driver for the ship. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're kind of you're on your way into getting into the spaceport transport, and there's a bunch of Jawas that are like trying to stop you, and they're just trying to grab your lightsaber out of your hands.
Okay.
Off of your belt.
Hey.
Can I try and take the credits from the Jawas? Like, just grab them out of their hands?
Scoop it up and turn it, maybe.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
You're already so hurt.
Go ahead and roll endurance.
All right. 11 total.
What was it? 11 total?
Yeah.
All right. You try and grab the credits out of their hand, and they pull away right as you were about to snatch it. And you can tell they're getting really frustrated and are going for their little ion pistols, their little holdout blasters.
Give me a pistol,
Look at
Jace.
him while it's getting into a fight.
Snatch him from them.
Do I still have a move?
We'll come back. You're kind of hanging out. You're kind of in the transport, or like the transport door is open, and you're kind of in the stairwell, just having this little altercation with them. It hasn't. The other 2 were just kind of looking on, or the other 4 are just kind of looking on, 2 out, 2 in, just kind of like shaking their heads and laughing, kind of very much like we're doing now. That's kind of what's going on. Alex, what would you like to do?
How much health do I have right now?
You are at. Where the hell am I? Oh, here they are. You are at 20.
Cool.
Or 19, sorry, 19 HP.
That's all I have.
This should be like 10 around here. Was it my turn?
Yeah, Fasa, that's on you.
Has everybody else gone into the transport?
Gonzoro and Plo are in the transport. Ain is still out next to you.
I want to. Is Jason obstructing the doorway? Can I get past him?
Not necessarily obstructing the doorway. It's a pretty darn large door. Like, it's big enough. The transport's big enough to probably fit 3 dozen people, and it's probably a good 8 by 8 giant thing. So
who has possession of this money, this credit bag, right now?
you're doing what?
Who has possession of the credit bag? Is it the Jawas or is it Jason?
It's not a credit bag. It's really just like a couple of credits. They're trying to rip them off. But the Jawas have the credits still.
I'm gonna I'm going to look down at the amount of credits that he's being offered for his lightsaber. I'm going to say, man, they're trying to rip you off here. Don't make this trade. And I'll just continue into the carriage.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll a perception check as well?
Yes, sir.
There's things I want you guys to see, but y'all just suck at looking.
18. Does an 18 see the thing?
Yes. Okay. So you again take another look. You see the radar dish, and chained to the bottom of the radar dish is a cat-like Nexu who has monstrous teeth, and as we said before, is chomping at the bit to get out. He's ripping at the chain, and his neck is actually bloody from pulling on this chain really hard. And you might have some curiosity as to like who chained this guy up there, and like why is he there, and also what you get some ideas like what would happen if we were to let this guy go. And there's some reservations obviously because you don't know if you're going to chain him, or if you cut the chains, if he's going to attack you because you're the closest proximity, or if he's going to attack whoever it is. And then you look back to your left and you see the Jawa's gigantic sandcrawler in the background, and you see the blockade that the stormtroopers have put up, stopping you from getting out to the sands. And there's probably 2 or 3 different sets of 2 to 3 patrols of sand troopers.
I'm going to point all of that out to my cohorts, and I'm going to say, if I get a minute rest, I can unchain that beast with my force powers. We don't need to be anywhere near it.
All right.
Yeah.
Bane?
I am all for unchaining the beast. Of course.
Watching Alex unchain the beast.
Well, either way, I think I'm just really, because the slave trade was really big on my planet, I don't like seeing things chained up, and I saw people of mine get taken away for purposes that for like masters and the Imperial Army, so I don't like that at all. And
we'll be safe in the transport, right? We set it loose. We just sit pretty. Well, we're circling the city, watching this beast rampage.
Yeah.
If that's what it does.
Why don't you go ahead and roll a knowledge check, Case?
Okay. Jesus. Okay. 4 mod 7 11.
So you don't know a lot about Nexu, but you have heard some stories, and because they're these cat-like creatures, you know that they're known for jumping pretty decently high heights, and they can move very quickly and have very fast reflexes.
Crossbow.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I would like to make it known that I would like to free it, and I'm also going to join everybody in the transport.
Oh God, that we know it's gonna get screwed up. Casey's getting involved.
Shut up.
Everyone
Nice,
is
get out of the transport.
except for Kier, who is still kind of half in, half out, and this is why the transport hasn't begun moving yet. Plo, it is back to you.
Can I roll a perception check?
Yeah, go for it.
I like it.
11 mod 9.
What are you looking for? Dirty 20.
20.
You're asking me if.
What are you looking for something specific, or what are you looking for?
I'm just observing everything.
Okay,
But I'm
so
interested in the Nexu.
okay, so you're looking, first of all, you're looking towards the door. You see Kier still kind of fighting with these 4 Jawas. 2 of them have started drawing their holdout blasters, and the other 2 are like both grabbing these credits as they're kind of like pulling it back and forth. So there's 2 Jawas, and then Kier sitting there fighting there with him. And one's doing the holdout blaster, and the other one is like holding his blaster and also trying to grab for the light foil that he's carrying. And then you look towards the Nexu, and you can see that, I mean, the eyes are kind of bloodshot. The thing looks savage. It's got these massive, massive teeth. But it's really unclear the reason why it's there. There's like it's kind of your run-of-the-mill radar dish. There's nothing really special about it. Just kind of looks like someone may have done this just to be cruel, or they just didn't want anyone touching the radar dish, even though it's not necessarily special. But you see that there's no one over there guarding it or anything. So you feel like it's kind of a set it and forget it sort of thing. There's some bones piled up around within this circle radius that it has access to.
So people have tried.
Other than that, there's not much more.
I think there's something going on with this radar dish if it's being guarded next to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe we should let it loose before we jump off the planet. I think we should focus on this instead of stormtroopers. I think this is got more attention.
Right, release the next zoo, then inspect the dish.
But how are we going to release it without it killing any of us?
My long-range force move object force power.
Would that work?
We don't need to be anywhere in the vicinity.
We need to be in the vicinity if we're going to check out the dish.
My move object power can, depending on how well I roll on my use force check, if I get over a 15, I can move an object up to medium size. Large size, I have to get over a 20. Huge size, I have to roll up to 25. So I guess it all depends on how big the object of the chain is. I can't imagine it's more than a medium.
Do we have any food or something we could feed it and try to befriend it? Does anyone have any food on them?
Casey's got poison.
Yeah.
He has a what? Bundar root?
Yeah, that's the poison.
Poison for Cusco.
Should we go back in the cantina? and
You're
pick up some
350.
pieces of the cat?
I mean, maybe there's some like street meat place we can
Is there any falafel?
Yes, falafel. I'd like this.
along the way?
It's a falafel vendor in Saturday.
If we went back to the cantina, could we buy some food from the bartender and give it to is it just a bar? Does it serve food too?
I'm sure there's food served there.
I recommend Jason doesn't do it because he tried to rob the place.
I agree.
Good call. Good call.
I think we should feed the cat, see what happens.
I like this idea.
Let it go and feed it.
You want to take your
What's that?
It's gonna take you probably 2 turns to get back into the cantina. So you want to get back out of the transport and start walking towards the cantina.
Yep.
All right.
Oh wait, where are you going? I gotta get my chart. I know, I'm talking about in game.
All right, Gonzalo, go ahead.
What do I want to drink? I'm having trouble thinking of something to do while Adam's going in to get food. I think we've already got a plan here.
It's to meet at the next zoo.
You guys can go check out the hangar.
Yeah. Can I get a check on whatever? Who wants to go check out the hangar?
Like a perception check or maybe.
You want to still come? Okay. Okay. So, what about you, Jace?
Do you want to do another? Check? So if you're still planning on doing that, why don't you go ahead? Unfortunately, because Jason, because Kier is kind of still standing in the doorway, we're in a bit of a holding pattern. The transport is until the conflict is resolved there, because it's like they're standing in the subway doors and the doors never close. Sort of thing.
Adam's trying to go back.
All right. I got an 8 with what was it? -1. So 7.
Everything looks like fucking blobs to him.
Yeah, I know. My guy's an idiot.
So imperceptive.
All right. You know what? No. I want to try to grab one of the guns from one of the guys holding up Jason.
Jeez.
I want to shove him down and grab a gun.
The little ion blasters, right?
You already have a gun, Mike.
He's a crossbow.
He's a crossbow.
So you're gonna join the conflict with Kier?
Yeah. I'm gonna help Jason out. I'm gonna push them back off of Jason while grabbing the gun and credits.
Go ahead and roll initiative, Mike.
I'm a big ass Wookiee. 8, damn it.
With
I think it's pretty low. Okay, so I have 14.
14. All right. All right. You are going to be going first. What are you going to do? So you're joining the conflict here. What is your first move?
To grab the gun.
All right, go ahead and roll endurance this time.
I would say contested strength check, but you do you, fam.
There's not going to be he's not going to need strength against the Jawa.
I got 19 total.
Good call.
What was it?
19.
All right.
I got 17 with a 2 mod.
All right, so he reaches towards the Jawa to grab the pistol and rips off his whole hand. Jawa's whole hand at the wrist, and they just start screaming and wailing. And in fact, in the process, because the pistol is so small, you've actually crunched the pistol, so it's no longer usable. But you've grabbed it and ripped the whole hand off. And the rest of the Jawas just start screaming. The other Jawa that has the other pistol out takes aim at you and looks at you and is just like, nope, not today. And the other 3 Jawas just bolt and run, because as you're walking towards them, Gonzoro stands over them by probably about 5 or 6 times their height. So they're just beyond scared and have just bolted. They're like, this isn't worth it anymore.
Is the arm, this is important that I know this, is the arm still grabbing onto the ion blaster as if it's in the Wookiee's hand?
He doesn't grab the gun specifically. He's just ripped it. It's not necessarily the arm. He's just ripped the hand off at the wrist. So he's just got a crunched hand and gun in his giant paws.
Don't forget about this, Jason. Helping you out. Is the gun repairable?
It doesn't. You can figure that out next turn. Q, it's back to you. You've noticed. You kind of look up to him and see all the Jawas skittering off without having to do much more.
It's helping everybody here.
You just gonna wait for the transport to leave now then?
All right, so you're getting back in the transport. Do you want to go ahead and roll perception as well? I don't know if there's anything else to find here. Yeah, I got some more stuff.
12 total.
Should we take her?
What was it?
12 total, yeah.
All right. So you've already been shared the information about the Imperial blockade that goes out towards the sand. In the far distance out in the dunes, you can see some hulking structure of some sort. As you look back towards the cantina, which is on the water, you see the dock and the pier, and it looks like there's some giant transport over there as well. There's a couple of stormtroopers in that area kind of wandering around. That's it.
Maybe she's a regular. She just
Fasa.
sitting.
Do I have my full complement of force powers back, or do I have to wait another round?
You'll have to wait one more round.
Okay. I'm just going to pull my feet up and sit cross-legged and just watch them with interest.
All right.
Let's do I'd be remiss if I didn't do a perception check here.
All right.
I want to perceive, see how, if there's any pattern with where the storm or the sand troopers are moving below us.
Okay.
Pull up my sheet here. 15.
15. All right. So you see the stormtroopers as you look towards Hangar 9, you can kind of see them off in the distance, and it looks like they're kind of moving some large equipment of some sort outside of it. It's a little bit too far to tell. Towards the Imperial checkpoint or blockade, it looks like they're kind of just posted up, making sure no one, and checking everyone that goes in and out on both sides, including the Jawas that just bolted that way. They've sort of stopped there, and the stormtroopers are, two of them run off screaming back towards the sandcrawler, and two of them are kind of pointing back towards Gonzoro, and kind of attempting to explain what happened, but they don't speak the Jawa trade language, so they're kind of just like, what are these idiots doing?
Don't get it, man.
Yeah, and then as you look towards the dock as well, it looks like it's a very similar situation there. There's two stormtroopers posted up on the dock, just making sure, checking everyone that goes in and out of that port as well.
Is it fair to assume that all of these troopers are armed?
They're all armed, yes, blaster pistols. All right, Ain.
I would like to speak with Gonzoro privately.
Word, please, come here.
But I would just like to make it known that I think he and I have the same goal, and he wants to avenge the death of his family, and as do I. We have that in common. I think it would benefit us both if we went to Coruscant. And I have credits. I could buy him weapons or health packs or whatever he needs.
You see my ear grow really, really big as if it were cartoonish. I'm totally listening.
Oh, is anybody else hearing this? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was.
How rude. You guys are all in the transport now?
Yeah, can I actually roll perception to see if I hear them?
No. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, are you trying?
It's probably to enclose the space.
What?
Are you trying to keep this a secret?
Not necessarily. I think anybody who's interested is welcome to join, but I think the Wookiee and I have common goals.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Classically terrible at this. Ooh. 24.
Heck yeah.
Mike,
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Mike, roll wisdom or intelligence, actually.
About to get taken advantage of.
What is it?
Mike, intelligence. Actually, you know what? It's not going to matter because even if he rolls a natural 20.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. I'm in. Mike, literally, don't worry about it because you have 0 mod. Even if you roll a natural 20, she's convinced you.
For intelligence? Oh, the mod. Yep. Well, I rolled.
All right. So it was a dull whisper. Kier and Vasa, you go ahead and roll perception and just see if you overhear the conversation. It's not supposed to be a secret, but you don't know if it is. Everyone else doesn't know if it is or not.
He offered me weapons.
Not natural 20 for me.
Money. I'll take money.
What was it, Alex?
20. 13 on the dice plus 7 is a non-natural 20.
Dirty 20?
Yeah, dirty 20.
17.
17? Okay. So you're
I
both
hear
all
everything.
kind of aware of what's going on. Kira's like, are they plotting? Just kidding. He didn't say that. You understand that it's not something that you assume that they're just trying to kind of form this extra bond of like, where should we go next sort of thing. Like, what is our goal here? And Alex, you hear verbatim what it is that they're saying.
Cool.
All right, the transport is going to start moving now. Within that time, we've also progressed about a fourth of the way towards Shuttle 9, up towards Shuttle 9. All right, Plo, we are back to you. We have about one more turn and we'll be within the cantina. So are we going to continue walking towards the cantina?
Yeah, I want to roll perception, see if I can notice anything else about the satellite dish. I got 28.
Damn. Okay, it looks like there had been some light. You can see some scorch marks at the bottom, like that. At one point, there was some sort of skirmish going on underneath. You can see where the chain has been dragged around it a bunch of times. And then you can also see where it looks like there's something blinking on it, like someone may have tampered with it at one point in time. But it's unclear like what the origin of this would have been or anything like that. You also notice that the chain the Nexu has on seems to be pretty heavy duty. Like it's not just some light chain. Obviously, this is a beast of an animal and need to be able to contain that. And they made sure that he would not be escaping on his own. You also see that one of the sand troopers. So very flip side, towards a little bit off the entrance of the cantina, probably about the same distance that you are, but maybe about kitty corner of the cantina. It looks like he's just slowly walking towards you, kind of with his gun up like this, just trying to be menacing. Doesn't look like he's going after you or anything, and this was the same one that one of the Jawas was speaking with, that kind of pointed towards the transport as that guy saw you walking away. So you'll probably be reaching the cantina door next turn.
Okay.
Gonzoro, you guys are in the transport right now. There's not a whole heck of a lot to do. You can probably see, if you want to look around, you can see, although historically not been great.
Yeah. Can I just like pass? Can I just like chill? I'm just gonna take the ride back. I do want to respond to Casey's offer. I'm definitely down, but I would like to free this animal first, and I think that's in both of our best interests.
Free the what?
Free the whatever the beast that's chained up. Yeah, because she wants to do that, I assume, before.
Do you want to get off the transport?
Yeah. I mean, are we? Where is the what?
I said we're playing it by ear about how we're getting off this planet, but let's just see what happens.
Yeah. If getting off the transport's what I need to do to help everybody else out with this, sounds like some kind of like big beeline with massive teeth, I'm assuming.
I'll see if I can share a picture of what it looks
Well, it
like.
sounds like the thing, was it in Clone Wars, the second Star Wars movie? Was it one of the things in the?
That's exactly the same thing. The second Clone Wars.
Okay, yeah, in the Coliseum. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the one that I think was going after Padme. That's the same thing.
Yeah. That's a huge head. It's got like the head of a pit bull.
All right.
Except bigger.
So are you jumping off the transport, you're saying?
Can you give me a rundown to as where Adam is and Jason and Alex?
Everyone except Plo, Adam is in the transport with you.
All right, I'm just gonna chill in the transport then.
Okay.
I'm here for support. I'm not gonna be the one to go out and fuck with the thing.
Is there anything else on the transport? Do I have to do a perception check for that?
You can always do a perception check if you just want to take a look around. The walls are probably generally about shoulder height for most people. Obviously for Gonzor, like waist height, but
I would wait.
Walls.
This is where to fight this cat.
We're waiting. All right. What would you like to do?
Like I like to just peek over the side and just to do a perception to see if there's any stormtrooper within, say, an arbitrarily picked number, 60 feet, because that's the range of the thing I want to use. Just to see if there perhaps is something within range of me.
All right, go ahead and make a perception check.
Yes, haha, natural 20. So that's 27.
So you see, we're crossing over right about the point of the primary Imperial checkpoint where there's 2 sand troopers and a speeder bike, and they're kind of just sitting there talking to each other. And we're probably within 50 to 45 feet of them. Like they're not paying the transport any mind. This thing goes around all day with just general passengers on it, so they don't really care. One of the Jawas did speak with these people as well, but they just shoot it away and were like, "This isn't my problem."
Okay, this is perfect to what I want to do here. I want to do something, and then based on whether or not it is successful, I would like to say something.
All right.
I want to say that I have all my force powers back at this point.
Yep.
But I want to use actually no, not move object. I want force disarm. One moment. Force disarm. Here we go. So the target is one target within 12 squares or about 60 feet and within line of sight. I need to make a use the force check in place of my attack roll when attempting to disarm the target. If your disarm attempt succeeds, you may choose to let the item drop to the ground in the target's fighting space, or have the item fly into your hand, in which case you must have a free hand to catch it, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that is you are opposing anything to see, like, to resist the gun taken away, but you said that this trooper just isn't aware of the thing speeding above him. So
This is on the ground. This is a ground transport on tracks on the ground.
and it's within range that I can just yeet the gun to me.
You would be able to, yes, but you are going to be opposed with his reflex defense.
There. So I need to make a use the force check, and that just needs to exceed your reflex defense.
Yeah.
So here we go. 17.
His reflex defense is exactly 17, but he's actually flat-footed because he's just standing there doing nothing, which is a 16. So you do successfully get the gun out of his hands.
Can I narrate this? Can I narrate this, please?
Yes, go ahead.
You just see like a shot of just outside the transport. You see a Gungan arm just slowly reach out and crackle with force energy, and the gun just gets ripped out of the confused trooper's hand and just bam into my hand, and I pull it into the transport and I say, I have a plan. We can rustle up some stormtroopers, or we can get a transport to Coruscant. Whichever happens first. We could also
save the. Do we still want to save that thing or what?
Oh, save the creature. Yes, that's
Save
also
the creature, and then get a transport. I'm down with doing all of the above. Like
this note, the sand trooper successfully rolled a dirty 20 perception check, and saw exactly where the gun went towards the transport.
Oh, so what kind of gun is this? So I can look up and then also use the
It is a blaster pistol.
I'll help you, Alex, if you give me a gun. If you give me a gun out of it. I want more. I've got possibly a broken gun. Oh, I never asked about that.
Hey, you were supposed to get me a gun.
Yeah.
It's true. Here, you can have the slaver blade.
Hey Ryan, is that gun still in here? We've got a severed hand and that broken gun in our transport still, right? Or did I?
As far as I know, it's still in your hands.
Okay. I'm just holding on to it.
Wrapped it onto your belt with the hand still attached.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the gun and give the hand to Jace. Deserves it.
All right. Fasa, that is you. Aim, it is your turn now.
Okay. I mean, I'm just kind of chilling here. I would like to go to Coruscant. So if Fossa would like to come with. That's cool, but I also don't really trust him or Jason, just as Force users in general. Jason I'm more okay with, just because he also doesn't love the Force. And so if he heard my invitation, I don't care, and he's welcome to join.
You saw me do a pretty blatant display of force power just then. So.
I did, and I don't really like that. But I do think you're a powerful ally, and so if you would like to go in the same direction as me, and I think that's going to help me, which I do, then that's fine.
God, you're such a piece of shit. You hate the Force, but you're like using people who use it all the time just to help you out.
Well, that's me. It's my character.
Where are you?
What do you want to do, Case?
Let's just do a perception check. There's no real other actions I want to take.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Jesus. Okay.
What did you roll?
6, 12.
Oh.
Okay, so after witnessing this interesting use of the Force to hijack one of the blaster pistols from one of the sand troopers, it seems like there has been a bit of a flurry of activity with some of the sand troopers that are gathering or that have already gathered towards the hangar that you're moving towards, and the two that you guys have just recently passed are still a little dumbfounded and appear to be walking over to the speeder bike.
Okay.
Plo, we're back to you.
All right, give me a sec.
Take it back a ton.
Making a margarita. All right, so have I reached the cantina yet?
Yep, you're at the cantina door right now. Do you want to do a quick perception check?
Yep. I got a 17.
All right, so you see the sand trooper is still a little bit ways off, and he was actually distracted a bit by the action that happened, or by the gun being stolen from one of the others, and it looks like he was just called back. So he is working his way back towards meeting with the other people towards the Imperial checkpoint. So it doesn't look like you'll be encountering him.
Cool. So I want to enter the cantina.
All right. Do you want to do another perception check as you're inside, just to refresh yourself?
I got a 13.
All right, so you see directly to your right that the vendor droid, who is selling all the wares, to your left, the bounty board, and there's some stuff on there, and then the table where it all began, a little bit further to your right, a little bit further past, and then right in the center is the bar.
I'd like to go up to the bar and inquire about some, like, if they have raw meat for preparing food or just anything I could buy.
You'll have to take probably one more turn to get to the, you'll probably get halfway to the bar by the end of this turn, so walk towards the bar.
Yep.
All right.
So, Ryan, I have a question for the record. How many rounds do I need to wait until my force powers are back in working order?
It will be active again on the 5th. Well, actually, because all you did was do a force pull, something of big explosive power like the first usage that you had, which was pushing the droid back. This is the force pull uses a little bit less energy. It was a lot lighter weight than what the pit droid would have been. So you're probably back.
See, what I understand when I read the force powers part of the wiki is that I have 3 different powers that I use, and whenever I use one, I can't use it again until it recharges. So I still have move object and mind trick left, but if I waited a minute, I'd get that force disarm back.
Does it require the use of your force points? So did you use one of your force points?
You don't use force power. You don't use force points to use a force power. It's just like an ability that you can use until you rest for a minute and get the power back.
So just so everyone's aware, the force points, how those will come into play is if you're like, no, I really need to make this happen. Like if there's a very difficult jump, Or say there was a very difficult pull, or it was like, oh, the reflex defense of this person was 18 and Alex rolled a 17, so it was unsuccessful. You can expend a force point to bump it up like 5 additional bonus points.
Okay.
So then you're like, you exceed that, you'll exceed whatever that is, and your action will become successful. So like a jump specifically, a regular jump would be, that might be difficult, is like jumping across this canyon, but if I expect that just regular jumping isn't going to be successful, but using an additional force point, it will become successful because you've gained a bunch of points on top of that.
But the as a Jedi, the force powers are used a bit differently.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So for
5 turns before it comes back.
yes.
So, okay, sorry.
Jesus Christ, I want to take my turn.
So it's specific force, like the amount of force points. So I have 5 force points.
Mhm.
So if I could use the force, or I've never used it before, so I probably wouldn't be very good at it. But like, if I want to do one movement, that could take up all my force points.
So if you want to do, yeah, I mean, it could technically happen in each one. It's not going to be like this much. You're not going to keep adding more every single time.
Okay.
I think they only replenish when you level up.
Okay. So I won't get any more than 5 force points that I have.
They replenish when you level up.
You just get them back when you level up.
Okay. Cool. Good to know.
Okay. So can I do like a perception check to see if this gun is fixable that I have?
Yeah.
Am I looking at perception? Is that correct?
What else do you have here? Go ahead and roll mechanics.
Mechanics. 15. Let me take an hour to find the mechanics. Okay, so I've got 20 total. 30, 20.
All right. So as you examine the gun, it looks like you've only damaged the tip of it. It's just slightly bent down. So if you were to shoot it, it would. You don't really know what would happen. It probably wouldn't work. It might just be aimed down a little bit. But it seems like with your power, with your knowledge of mechanical things, it might be fixable.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now would I be able to ask Ain or, sorry Alex, I can't ever remember your character, or Fasa, if they could use a force point to fix it for me, to straighten it out?
I have force points too. Yeah.
I have force points?
Yes. There's a difference between force points and force powers. That's what I get as a Jedi.
The force is a power, or the force is something that runs in all things, whether or not you have the ability to control it. The midichlorian count is just so high in Jedi that they have the ability to control it.
Okay.
Nope. That's the line I'm taking.
So my force points, I can't like lift stuff like Alex, right?
You wouldn't be able to no, you can't use the force. You would just be.
So what would I use my force?
The force is doing what you already know how to do better.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like Anakin racing cars, he just got better at
Exactly.
Cars.
it. Pods. He didn't. He just knows what's
The
in it.
bulb is going to win, I think.
If you want to repair this, Mike, if you want to repair this pistol, you can go ahead and roll. We can roll the can again.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try to repair it.
All right.
Oh,
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Yeah, key is.
You're gonna need a force point. Actually, let me pull.
So you probably don't need to use a force point because you rolled that.
We're gonna need to here. It's not super busted. Yeah, I think you're able to, as far as you know, you're able to successfully repair it. Go ahead and if you want, you can try and shoot it real quick too, or you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't really know for sure that it's repaired until you've shot
Can
it.
I do a test shot at one of the guy hopping on the bike?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
Are we in this, guys? Or do we want to piss them off? I mean, they're already coming to check us out, right?
Let's only engage when they come up on us.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
okay. I don't want to do a test shot yet, especially because Alex just took a gun. I think it would be a little too sketchy. So I'm just going to trust in my abilities to repair this weapon, and I also want to give Jason the severed hand that I ripped off, if I'm able to. It's my way of saying you're welcome.
Did Jason speak Wookiee?
Everyone's speaking basic, so everyone's speaking basic to each other. Even the Wookiees speak basic.
I don't even need to say anything. I'm just going to hand it to him. Throw it at somebody, do whatever you want with it, Jason.
Give him a hand.
Hey, Mike, do you speak common or do you just speak in the
Yeah, no, I speak, what is it, specific? No, it's not.
I think it's
Oh, it might be
everybody's just
basic.
speaking basic,
Yeah. No, and
English.
Shiri look like
which
that.
is Wookiee.
Because I find it hilarious if your character is just this big Wookiee that's just voiced by James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Just speaks in basic.
Or the actual guy that voices Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Come on.
Moving on.
Is that
Here.
for my turn?
Yeah.
So,
You were just handed a severed hand.
okay. Aim that I want to join them course at. And then I would also like to force strap Sand Trooper.
God damn it.
You guys, why don't we just release this fucking thing and let it help us out?
That's the plan.
That's what I'm trying to do, Mike.
We just got
With a
to get
severed hand, with a severed Jawa hand.
I would be pissing people off.
keep the going.
Alex, do you have some information to share on the force sensitivity piece as far as what powers he might have available that we can kind of roll for? Or
Yeah,
are we
I
just
got.
using use the force?
I have my force powers are as he stalls to get to his character sheet. I have move object, mind trick, and force disarm.
But those are all trained, right? Because you had a specific talent.
Yeah, because I have the force training feat. Yes, I was able to pick 3 force powers, so I picked those 3 force powers. And once those are each used up, I have to have it recharged until I can use them again.
Yeah.
I've
So
actually already used force disarm, so I can't.
I don't think you have the ability to do this. The only thing you have the ability to do with the force are sensing the surroundings, searching your feelings, general telepathy.
All right, fine. I'll just put the hand on my
Search your
back.
feelings.
What's your feelings, Jace?
Search your feelings.
But since I am trained in the force, I can use those specific force powers.
I know. Set up. We're good. I'll just put it in my back pocket so I can slap the Emperor with it.
All right. That's gonna end so well.
Ooh.
All right.
I
Are you
I
doing
really
anything?
want you to keep that.
No, that's right.
All right. I think you guys have someone. Alex is still in there with you, but you have. You're a little over halfway or 3/4 of the way. So the end of the next round, you'll be rounding the corner for Hangar 9.
Very multi.
Fasa, what are we doing? You have the
How close
last,
are we to our
what?
How close are we to our destination before we
You're
have
paying
to embark?
attention. You literally just said that.
Sorry, I was looking up.
It is the end of Kier's next turn will be at Hangar 9. So your next turn will be at Hangar 9.
Adam isn't with us. The transport left.
Yeah, he went to get food for the attack.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm gonna do a perception check to see if there's any to look at the stormtroopers that are potentially chasing us.
Alex, you're really into these stormtroopers, huh?
I mean, I gotta make sure we aren't actually being followed.
Shit up.
That's a natural 1 on the dice, so I crit failed. But I'm adding 7 to it, so it's an 8. But it's a natural 1.
All right. So you see
There.
the sand troopers that you guys already passed. It doesn't look like they've moved, but you can't really tell what they're doing. But you do see that it looks like the people that were initially unloading some sort of mechanical gear in Hangar 9 now appear to be getting armed.
Okay. Heads up, boys. We might maybe fixing for a fight soon.
I'm ready for it. I got like 3 or 4 different weapons.
All right, Ain.
I asked Gonzoro if I can borrow that pistol that he just fixed. I don't have any weapons.
Do we need to roll anything for that? I mean, I'll do it.
All right. If you're just gonna do it, then you don't need to roll anything.
Yeah, I'll give her the pistol.
Use this jank ass pistol.
Can you, how much ammo do I have with this pistol?
It is a holdout blaster, and it comes with. Let me check. It comes with an energy cell that has 6 shots.
Okay, I will let her borrow my pistol. Borrow my pistol.
Okay.
All right.
Which means I need it back with 1 shot.
I'd also like to do a perception check on the stormtroopers.
All right. Go ahead and roll.
This fuck natural 1. Come on. 7.
All right. So again, as we are nearing it, you don't see. You kind of look back towards the Imperial checkpoint. It doesn't look like they're getting after you, but the amount of dots has decreased from 3 being the sand troopers and the speeder bike down to 1. And you see as you look forward, you see 9 white dots in the hangar.
Hey, me too.
Perfect.
Sorry, you see 4 white dots in hangar 9 is what I actually meant to say.
Oh, okay. 4 way dots. Okay. Well, I guess that's it.
Right. So, we rejoin you back in the cantina.
All right, I inquire about getting some meat for the cat.
So the bartender says, "Oh, really? You're gonna feed that? You're gonna feed that beast?"
I say, yeah, I am.
What is your? That thing is savage as all get out.
I say, but look at the scratches on his neck. He's obviously in pain and he needs help. What if he's never like had the chance given to him to have someone have compassion instead of just like beating him? So I'm gonna try to be nice to it.
Go ahead and roll.
Roll what?
Initiative. You got a mod, a 4 mod.
Initiative 16.
All right. So the bartender starts preparing just this gigantic steak of whatever it was that he had. He just threw it on the fryer, starts prepping this thing. It's a kitchen. He's got a kitchen.
He knows what it's for. I'm
Um,
saying he cares a little more than he first let off. That's what I'm saying.
he's like, "Do you know anything about this?" Like, they're not really 100%. The bartender's not really sure where this came from. Do you know where this beast came from or any of the backstory on this? Because I've heard some stories.
And invite him along. Invite him
What are
along.
the stories?
I say it again. Who said that? The bartender said
The
that?
bartender.
The bartender said he's heard some stories about where this Nexu came from. He's kind of new to the area, so it was here when he got here, and he's only been around for a couple of months, but.
Yeah. Well, I asked him about what he's heard.
So it sounds like, at least from what I know, there was some skirmish between some bounty hunters and the Imperials whenever they first came here. I think that it used to belong to one of the local bounty hunters, and as far as I know, he's dead, and they took the Nexu and chained it up there after something. That's as far as I know about it.
Oh man, I'm about to get a new pet.
I wouldn't be so sure. This thing doesn't seem tame anymore.
It was totally betrayed by, I mean, not who owned it, but it got abused by humans or somebody.
Yeah. So is that the end of my turn?
You'll probably be ready by your next turn.
Okay.
Gonzoro?
So where am I at this point? I'm on the transport?
Yep, we're on the transport. We're about 3/4 of the way to Hangar 9, and we'll reach Hangar 9 by the end of Kier's next turn.
Yeah, I'll just try a perception check and then we can move on.
Ooh.
Okay, I got 14.
All right, that's with your mod.
Yeah, we suck at seeing stuff.
All right.
I got a -1 mod.
You look towards the Imperial checkpoint because you're still a little bit flabbergasted about the force use that Fossa had pulling and you're kind of looking in awe at the gun that he now possesses, which only took him about 5 to 10 seconds from start to finish, and the thing just, as far as you're kind of aware, the thing sort of just appeared in his hands. Like, you have an understanding of the force to some degree, but it's a little bit beyond your general understanding.
All right.
You look back towards the Hangar 9 and you're seeing a little bit of a flurry of activity as 4 stormtroopers seem to be stopping what they're doing and picking up some weaponry, it looks like, of some sort.
Okay.
Kier,
Just gonna wait.
just hanging.
Yeah.
All right.
Do a perception check, Jason. Honestly, we've been seeing shit.
Right.
I see dots.
11 plus
I crit failed on my last perception roll.
perception, got 13.
Damn it.
13.
NA.
Same thing.
He's not seeing anything more than what Gonzoro saw.
Dots.
Just
Dots in the hangar.
He's just verifying what he saw.
Man, it's.
All right, Fossa.
All right, so as I understand it, we're not in the station yet.
Nope.
I would
We
like to.
Actually, we've just pulled
Just
up to
arrived.
the front of Hangar 9.
All right, so I want to do something before I walk out. Actually, it says I was looking up when it wasn't my turn, like how to use the Force, and I can use telepathy as a standard action. I can establish a telepathic link with a distant creature. I want to exchange emotions with this cat creature that's being chained up the satellite dish. That was my plan. So it says that the telepathy distance is a DC of 15 when it's on the same planet. But if it's within my line of sight, would it be a lower DC?
Only slightly.
So
I'm going to say 14.
okay, sweet. So I need to use the Force roll to share my emotions with this cat creature, just so I can get like a vibe check on what this cat is feeling.
Oh, check his vibes.
Check your vibes, bro.
Bad vibes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. That's a nat 20. You see that? It's a nat 20.
Yeah, I got you.
Nat 20, 27.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Come on.
Natural 20.
Oh, well, you picked it up. Okay, you picked it up. Reroll.
Is that if you pick up a die to show someone. All right,
No,
you successfully
you can verify.
successfully have a link with an emotional link with the Nexu, and all you feel from this Nexu is hatred and anger towards the Empire, towards these white armored stormtroopers, and he wants nothing more than to rip them apart.
Nice.
I
Nice.
think with that I can. Oh no, you can exchange emotions or a single thought. So maybe next time I'll give it a thought.
You can go ahead and share something back with him. That was just what you sensed. That's what you sensed from him. It's like a conversation, except made over emotional link, and you feel a lot of hatred towards these stormtroopers and these white armored people.
Can I send just a sense of empathy with it? Like I understand what it's feeling and I want to help it. That's the message I want to send to the Nexu.
Kill it.
Message received. Yeah. You successfully sent that, and it doesn't harbor any ill will towards you or any of your party members.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay.
And if I can move, I'm going to step out of the transport.
You really want to do that?
Actually, I'm just going to stay in the transport. Actually,
The transport technically keeps moving until you hit the stop at the hangar. So you can move, if you want, you can use your move action to stop the transport. How about that?
Is this the stop we want to get off at?
This is hangar 9. This is where
Let's do
everyone
it.
said they wanted to go.
Boop, hit the stop.
All right. Ain, we have stopped at the entrance of hangar 9, and as we stop, the hangar or the transport door slides open or folds down.
Okay, I would like to do a perception check for what's outside the transport
All right.
and hangar.
Good.
I know.
You next.
No,
I'm
come
really
on.
bad.
God damn it. Fuck me. 14.
What is it?
14.
That's average. Actually, slightly above average. What you would expect is about a 10, so that's still slightly above average, right?
Okay.
So you see 4 stormtroopers still finishing packing up their gear. They're throwing bags on and picking up blaster pistols, and it looks like they're going to start like just lightly hiking over to you. Obviously it's fairly deep sand that they're having to trek through, but it looks like they're starting to move towards the transport, and you expect they'll be there within 15 to 30 seconds or so.
Okay.
We need you to
I'm
let
gonna
us
stay inside the transport, and I just want to let everybody know what I saw. That it looks like they're coming towards us. I don't know if there's any ill will or not, but get your weapons ready.
I like.
And I would like to be at the door, peeking out.
All right.
Charlie's Angels
Typically.
style.
We're like back
Yeah,
up
exactly.
Charlie's Angel style.
Yeah.
All right. We're circling back. Plo, back in the cantina.
What are we doing in the cantina?
Served up the steak on a nice platter here for you.
Stay there and eat it.
I'll ask him how much I owe him. 1,000 credits.
Go ahead and roll. Let's see. Roll initiative again.
I was 16.
That's a base.
What's that?
What was it?
16.
Okay. He's like, you know what? I really admire what you're trying to do here, and I've seen nothing but pain on the face of that Nexu. I'm like, if you have the balls to take this over there, I'm gonna go ahead and give this to you for free, and offer you my droid to come along with you, just as any support, just in case you need it.
Yeah.
It sounds like the DM needs an excuse to get the droid on this adventure.
Oh, was that the droid you created, Ryan?
No. So with that, you also see the droid across the way that was in the process of, or that you noticed was also helping stop or prevent the holdup of the bar.
What's the droid's name?
It looks like he had been charging for the past hour or so. Repower up and start walking over towards you as well.
I introduce myself and ask him what his name is.
You already know my name. You stole my fucking gun.
I just paid you for it.
Like, yeah, I know. I'm just messing. You're good.
Oh, do I
How much help I can bring you with whatever it is that you're trying to encounter, but I still have some strength to offer, so I'll do whatever it is I can to help.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Granny.
Oh, hey, Brenda.
See you.
Yeah, soon. I'm looking forward to it. Only a couple of days now.
Glad you're having fun doing this.
You can see that we're having an absolute riot.
Right.
Is that the end of my turn?
You can still move. You have so you're partnered up, or he'll meet you at the door probably. Partnered up. As I said, he doesn't have a gun, but he'll join you at the door.
I want to walk over the Nexu. Or start walking over it.
Your turn will pick up at the outside of the cantina, and TO1T will be, he'll be next to you.
All right.
Toy.
All right.
Toy.
Gonzoro, you have.
All right, I definitely would like a perception check.
Go ahead.
How many stormtroopers? Well, okay, don't even bother with that, because it's
I
one.
got a 1.
No, I want to hear what you have, though. What do I see with a 1?
So you lean over towards and peek out the door, and you're kind of like, you had just been resting your eyes a little bit as you guys pulled up to it. And you're like, I know we're about to enter a pretty stressful situation. So you just kind of wanted to like breathe and relax for a minute. You open up your eyes and the sun blinds you, and all you see are some white blurs and like the big gray blur of what might be a ship in the hangar, and that's about it.
Well, good.
I hope that's helpful.
I mean, the ship thing is helpful. I just wish I knew how many stormtroopers were here.
And if they were coming towards us.
All right, I want to get out and get on the other side of the little pod that we're in,
Okay.
transport. So I'm kind of like separating myself from these, for one, from the Jedis that are on this transport, and two, kind of trying to get some, some sort of like shield that I can like hide behind, someplace where if I need a shoot, I can hide behind. That's kind of my situation with that, but I want to do it very nonchalantly, like I'm not up to something. They're already running over. Just gonna get on the other side of this transport.
Just getting out and snapping.
I'm like still blinded too. I'm just staggering all over.
I'm walking here.
Walking here.
This is going to be interesting, but go ahead and do just do a general wisdom check, or charisma. Actually, roll charisma. I think that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
See if it's snapping.
Okay, that's better. I know I've got higher. Okay, so mine. So I've got I'm looking at my charisma, and it's got the mod is -3. The total is 5. Okay, so it's 2.
No. Your base is 7.
That's how math works. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a total of 5, and then I've got the mod of -3. I got
2.
9.
Yeah.
He rolled 12.
Oh, so I got 14. 14 then.
It's +2. It's 5 minus 3. That's
Oh, okay.
+2, and I rolled a 12. Yeah.
12 is the total.
14.
Okay. You step out and the stormtroopers, you hear the stormtroopers yell something from across, like they stop and yell something across, and you can't really make out what it is because it's so muffled inside their helmets, and the speakers aren't really great. There's some wind in the sand, you can't really hear it. And you kind of just like saunter like over to the back, and they kind of just stop and look at each other and are like, what the hell is going on? And then as you round the corner, they go back and formulate, or they keep moving forward. They don't shoot or anything. They just keep moving back or keep moving up towards where you're at. So.
My turn. Do I have any more actions?
No. If you want, you can position yourself behind the wherever it is that you're at.
The transport, yeah. I want to secure a sort of position with an expectation that, heat's going to be coming soon and I'm going to need some cover.
All right. Here, what are you doing?
I am doing step out of the transport.
What's that?
Oh, yeah.
You're getting out of the transport?
Yeah.
Do you want to do a perception check?
Sure. 11. Perception 13 total.
13. Okay, so as you step towards the exit, you see the 4 sand troopers that are kind of walking towards it. They're probably within 20 to 30 feet or so, so they'll be there certainly by the time you're able to get yourself positioned, or by the next time you get positioned, whatever it is that you're doing. And then you've watched Gonzoro do some weird, I don't know what it
Weird
was.
maneuver.
He acted like he was drunk moving outside. And then you see Aang positioned up against like Charlie's Angels up against the side, just waiting for people to come in, or look and kind of like peeking out just to keep an eye on it. Yeah, that's where we're at.
All right.
So what are you doing as you walk out? And there's these 4 sand troopers that are kind of running towards you.
Lightning?
See what they do.
Well, they're jogging.
Prodding.
They're just waiting.
Yell them what are they doing?
What was that?
Can I ask them what they're doing?
The sand troopers?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead and roll a knowledge check.
Okay. 18 total.
That's pretty solid. All right, so you kind of yell over to them and just be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Sort of thing, and they are continue pulling forward, and you can kind of hear them now. It's like somehow, or like one of our fellow troopers' rifles just was ripped from their hands and pulled towards the transport, and we came over here to investigate.
Good call, Alex.
Hey, I thought it was a good idea at the time.
So
I'm actually armed right now, so you know what?
I'm just gonna say I have no idea what we're talking about. I didn't see it happen and ignored it pretty much. Course played down.
All right. I think that's probably a good call. Should be an easy one for you. All
Got him.
right. So they're still continuing. So they're not even quite up to the ramp of the transport yet. But as I said, they'll be there within the next turn or so. You're kind of hanging out towards. I imagine you're kind of slightly down the ramp, so they're not going to be able to see in once they reach you. They won't be able to see in the transport if people are spread away from the door. All right, Fasa. You're still in the transport. We've stopped. You see Ain kind of backed up against the edge of the entrance, and Kier is about halfway down the ramp of the transport, engaging in conversation as the sand troopers move towards the transport.
Better fix this, Alex.
Someone needs to go with Jason. He can't be trusted.
I'm waiting for Adam. I'm waiting
Where
for
is
his
everybody right
feedback.
now?
I'm behind the transport.
So Gonzoro is behind the transport right now. He's outside behind it, and Ain is like backed up on the entrance. And the height isn't that you're taller than what it would be, so you're actually like kneeling down and like doing one of those. And then Kier is on the ramp, on the entrance ramp of the transport, facing outward, having a conversation with the sand troopers.
Is he talking with just one sand trooper?
He was talking with one specifically, yeah, but all four of them were there.
I want to target the one that's actively talking with him by doing mind trick. I want to do the stereotypical. These are not the droids you're looking for, but I want to. The sense I want to give is nothing to see here. So I'm using a use the force check. If I equal or exceed the target's will defense, I can choose one of the following effects. So before I choose the effect, I think I need to know if it's successful or not.
Right.
So 15.
The will defense is 9.
All right. So then I can choose. You make an otherwise unpalatable suggestion seem completely reasonable to the target. You must be able to communicate with the target, and the suggestion can't obviously threaten the target's life. The target won't realize later that what he did is unacceptable. So I guess what I just want to do is like see there's nothing wrong here, or there's nothing to see here.
Okay.
They can
Just
kill himself.
towards, in order to be able to engage in this conversation, you need to be able to get to a point where you can speak with them. So are you going to join Kier out on the
Yes.
bench? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
It's like, hey, there's nothing to see here. You can move along.
Don't they see the lightsabers?
So are you still holding the blaster pistol?
I put it away as I've moved.
Okay.
I'm definitely tucking it into my.
You say that now.
Okay. So you've convinced the one, and he kind of stops. He stops everyone and is like, I don't think this is what we're trying to find. Like, I don't think this is the right transport. There's no way what this guy told us was true. I think he's just trying to cover up because he lost his gun. And everyone looks at each other and they kind of roll their eyes in slight disbelief at what he's saying, but also not much surprise if that's actually the truth. So they've slowed, and this one has completely turned around. He's like, I mean, if you guys want to continue investigating this, I think it's a piss poor waste of time, and I'd much rather spend my time doing the work. So the one has started walking back towards Hangar 9 shuttle and the shuttle within, and there's 3 that are just kind of like caring a little bit less now, but still moving towards like the commander, or at least their captain that's working the Imperial checkpoint. They're like, we probably should still go check it out, but I care a little bit less now.
So what was it? Kryn was with me, or Ain?
Ain, yeah, and then Kier is right next to you.
I'm gonna wink, look at directly in Ain's eyes and do a wink. I'm gonna wink it.
Are we not trying to fight these people, or are we just waiting
No,
for
Alex
Adam?
just did like a full.
But we came here
These aren't
to
the droids you're
fight.
looking for.
We came here to fight them. So my
We
question.
came here to release the kitty cat.
We didn't know what we came here to do. I think it was like, let's go check it out.
Well, I thought,
Just like
yeah,
see
I was.
Yeah,
see
it's
what's
most
going
of
on.
that.
I thought we were trying to release the cats to help us out in this big battle.
Isn't the
No,
cat
the-
back by the cantina?
Yeah, the cat's back is by the cantina.
Adam's gonna feed it and bring it to us. So I say we like calm the battle down and then we like bring the heat.
Just check it out. Just see what's in there first. You don't have to immediately go to battle.
Yeah, we don't have to like fight people. If they're not interested, who cares?
Yeah,
They
I
don't
guess
care
we'll
about
have to
us.
see if we're allowed in there though, but.
Well, they don't
But
care about us now.
what I'm doing here is I'm trying to avoid conflict as much as possible.
Okay.
Diffuse the situation.
To be fair, a conflict with 4 sand troopers is probably going to be pretty difficult for the team that you guys have right now. So
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Thank God
Okay.
for mind trick.
there you go.
Yeah, Jedi mind trick.
Why the hell?
The old
I mean,
Jedi
yeah,
mind
thanks
trick.
for fixing that problem that you started in the first place. None of this would have happened.
All right, Aiden, it's your turn.
Me?
Yep.
Okay.
Perception check.
Well, with the yeah, of course. With the situation successfully diffused, I would like to step out of the transport and do a perception check.
All right, go ahead.
Ooh.
There we go.
Yes, thank God. 26.
26. All right, so you see the one sand trooper that's kind of walking back, and he's at this point he's kind of just like dragging his blaster along behind him, like I got out of bed for this sort of thing. And then the other 3 have gone from like running, like or jogging with their guns holding up like this, to now just like walking at their waist, and they'll probably reach by the next time, or by the next your next turn. And you look, and you kind of look behind you, because you know that it seemed like at that checkpoint there were some people that were going to be coming towards you, and you see the speeder bike with 2 sand troopers on it moving towards the transport as well, from the backside. So, or basically coming up behind where the transport just came from.
Interesting.
You got a blaster.
I don't want to start an argument. I do hate Imperial scum. But
The Nexu is just
okay, is there
No,
This is a
If you have something you're specifically looking towards or at, you can ask for
I mean,
what you want.
like, that's the thing, not really. Like, this is not my goal. I don't really care about being here. I just went along because I wanted to make some allies.
I think we just ditch Alex and let him fucking deal with it.
I mean, I'm all just for going back into the transport and heading back, because I would like to go to Coruscant. That's my main goal. As long as nobody's trying to shoot us, then I don't care.
Okay. So you're just gonna go sit back down in the transport. We're probably gonna
I'd like to try and convince everybody else to go back so we can go to Coruscant.
All right. That's a totally different scenario. Let's go ahead and roll. Your persuasion again.
Well, I'm really glad we wasted about 6 turns going to the hangar to immediately
11.
get back in and
I know. We'll just go back. Wolf. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to go on the intergalactic transport.
Hey, Adam, I'm still with you. Adam.
Okay, so
You're with everyone else.
No, I'm about to shoot this motherfucker and then just kind of waltz back to where you
I mean, I
are.
want the cat to be freed. That's fine. I would like that because, again, I hate Imperial scum. But my whole plan is not to do this. I don't care about killing stormtroopers.
Right, did you say
All I
what's
have is a blaster.
Did you say what's
What?
inside the hangar? Like, what are they loading up? Like
they're
I
unloading
saw a big ship.
of some sort. And it's an Imperial shuttle that they're unloading mechanical equipment from.
they don't know what the equipment is, but that's the only thing inside the hangar.
That shuttle that they're unloading.
Didn't I see something ship-shaped or?
Yeah. You saw the
Okay.
ship.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about that. That's a thing.
Well,
Hey.
we could take that ship.
Oh, I guess. Okay, fine. Change your plans.
Kill
Change your
these
plans.
fuckers and take the ship.
Well, all I have is a blaster
Oh no, that I
that has 6 bullets. Useless for me. Okay. Well, I would like to.
Let's steal the ship. Come on.
Okay, I guess let's steal the ship. Whatever. Adam isn't even here. Adam isn't even here.
Well, yeah. Okay. That's what we need to happen. We're gonna have Adam release the beast. So then all the other stormtroopers are gonna try and run away to help and abandon their ship. And then they're all just gonna sprint on and take off.
What about me?
Hey, we have people
like
coming at us because
that.
they knew Alex stole a gun from them. We need
No,
to
I
deal
didn't.
with them first.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Two-hearted! I love it. Look at, I have the glass. I have the two-hearted glass.
Love it. Hey, were you just down there by yourself? Yeah. They didn't actually know that I stole the gun because I used Jedi mind trick to discourage them.
That's true.
On the people at the at the what, Station 9 or whatever. But the people who you took it from are coming on the bike right now.
We'll deal with that later.
I think we should just kill them now. What, we're gonna start a fight with somebody else while there's people coming like at our back?
Hey, it's better than 2 fights, right?
That's my point. They're coming. They know, like, we're gonna get in a fight with them regardless. So I think we should handle that before.
Listen, my big furry friend, we deal with trouble when it comes. No use
I mean,
worrying
that's
about
not
it.
good strategy.
This has been
Okay.
the most unproductive trip. You guys,
He's got a nice big
I know,
old
I
steak.
knew-
Might I suggest something?
We're about to feed this cat. I guess we might as well stay here because that cat hates Imperial soldiers, and we may be able to use this ship. Okay, I like that idea.
What are you doing for?
So my move.
Slam that big red button and keep the transport moving. Get as close to the Nexu as you can.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah,
Suggestion.
like that.
Wait, so I'm out of the transport and it's closed?
That's
Well,
only,
Jason and I are in
that's only
it.
if Aang chooses to do that.
Well, I don't even have big weapons, and neither does Jason. You just have your lightsaber,
I
right?
lent you a goddamn gun. You're gonna just ditch me and take my gun and leave?
The plane is
Yeah.
coming back.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, do you feel upset about that? Maybe I should.
You've only stepped all over me.
This is
throughout
causing marital
this.
problems. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stay. And So these stormtroopers, are they like? They're all dragging their guns. Well, what is the level of like confounded that they are?
They're not necessarily confounded. Why don't you understand to try and get a read on them? We're going to say that you are standing in the entrance. You kind of exited your post, and now you're standing a few steps behind Fasa and Kier, and are just out here trying to get a read on like where these stormtroopers are at.
Okay. What am I rolling?
Perception.
Okay. 24.
24.
Hot damn.
All right.
God damn.
You've
I
kind of
wonder how
gathered
to-
exactly what we said initially. Like they have questions. Like they were told by their captain to come do this, but the guy that lost his gun is kind of a fool anyway, and he's lost his gun before. So
Not too
Embarrassing.
they aren't surprised. They're just using this as an excuse to be like, oh, I lost my gun and that sort of thing, like boy who cried wolf type thing.
Some magical force pulled it out of my hand. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Exactly. So that sort of explanation. So they're not really all that inclined to spend much energy investigating this, but also recognize that it is an order from the higher up that they need to at least acknowledge. Is that sufficient?
Yeah. Still don't know what I want to do. I guess, I would like to invite everybody out of the transport
Into the transport.
in,
Are we leaving?
I guess.
Are we
Yeah,
doing
let's
the
all
ship?
just go back. I want to invite everybody to go back. Let's get the cat and we'll come back.
Yeah, let's go back and help Adam.
The
You're the
transport.
boss.
Yeah. I'm inviting everybody in. It's whatever.
Adam's got a droid and he's about to have a big cat.
I know.
He's a
We
lot of
need
our
him.
muscle right now.
Also, I have a good relationship with that.
Yeah,
Are
no.
you getting back in the transport with her,
Yeah,
Jason?
Yeah.
humble back.
Masa, you're getting back in?
I am, yes, and I'll say you're welcome for diffusing that incredibly dangerous situation.
Kanzuro, are you
Well,
getting
that's
back in
fun.
the transport?
Don't invite him back, Dave. Everybody but Fossick is invited back.
You
in.
stay here,
Hey,
motherfucker.
Can you use your turn to punch Foss on the balls?
I don't know. I'm sure gonna try.
Kanzuro, are you getting back in? Are you good to get back in?
Yeah,
Are you not? Yeah, you are.
yeah.
Okay, you won't be back in until your next turn, but you, I just wanted to see if you were persuading everyone, Case. All right, so everyone's kind of loading back up in there. We're circling back to Plo, who is now outside the cantina with TO1T and the big juicy steak to give over to the Nexu. What are we doing?
How far away from the Nexu am I?
You're a decent distance. Walking, you're probably about 5 turns.
Wow.
What? It's that far away?
The spaceport is gigantic and it's in the center.
I
What about the
didn't realize-
droid?
What about the transport?
Yeah, maybe fine. They'll give us enough time to meet up with you.
What?
They'll give us enough time to meet up with you.
That's true.
Yeah, I'd say we both take the transport, meet up, save this cat, and steal that
We just
shit.
need to take the transport.
You can take one suggestion. So there's 2 transports, both going opposite directions.
Okay.
If you want to get into the other transport that goes the other way, we can meet the other members of the party at some point, and whatever point that is, we can stop the transports and get
Let's
off.
do that. Yeah, let's do that. Can we just like fast travel and say like 3 turns elapse?
All of us? Yeah. I mean,
Someone
I'd be
else
okay to take my turn.
So you're
Yeah.
sitting there in this transport with a plate that has a big juicy steak on it.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
how long would you say 3
you-
turns is? Can I use that to recharge my force power?
Yeah, it would already be recharged at that point. So, but we will, if there's nothing else that happens between now, Mike. Okay, so you're hopping in the transport. We're moving on to Mike's turn. Mike, you're still outside the other side of the transport. Go ahead and roll perception real quick.
Okay. Okay, I've got 11.
Okay, so off in the distance, as you're kind of have your back to the transport, and it's not even that distant at this point, but you see the speeder bike with the 2 sand troopers coming on it towards you, and you don't. They probably won't be there by the. You know that we're trying to leave. You know that they probably won't reach you by the time we're trying to leave. So you start making your way back around to the other side. As you turn the corner there, you see the 3 stormtroopers just about to reach the ramp of the transport. And these are the ones that you were acting drunk toward.
All right. So that situation kind of screams like, get the hell out of there. So I'm just going to get back in the transport. And my goal is to meet up, take the lap around and meet up with Adam.
All right, go ahead and roll endurance, because we're probably going to need to sprint if we're getting past these sand troopers that are trying to meet you at the door.
Can we just like jump himself up into the transport because he's so tall?
You could probably do that at the height of the wall of the transport. You might be able to just do that from the back instead of going all the way around.
Sorry, what was that?
You might do a jump. You might do a jump skill instead, and basically do a nice parkour vault over the wall into the transport.
Yeah, can I roll for that?
Yeah, go ahead and jump roll.
Okay. Not great. What is it, 10?
No.
It's you? 10. Can I use a force point? Do I need to?
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and use a force point, you can guarantee, because you're only at average there, you can
Yeah,
guarantee.
I'd like to use a force point.
Yeah,
All right.
went down the wrong pipe.
That's probably a good call. All right, so you successfully you do this amazing acrobatic vault into it, and then you roll, and in all one swift motion you roll and hit the red button to close up the door.
Nice.
Transport starts moving, and the sand troopers just kind of end up stopping and just kind of looking at each other a little dumbfounded. And then go ahead and roll a perception real quick.
I got 8.
All right, so you can hear them talking a little bit, and it sounds like they may be speaking to someone on the other line.
Uh-oh.
Man, we just gotta keep stalling until we can get to Adam and that droid and all that.
Okay, does anyone want to, we have about 3 turns until we meet at about hangar, where are we going to be at? Probably at about hangar 3, or 2, we'll say, about in front of hangar 2, where the party will meet up. Do we just want to skip forward to that?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to move forward, skip 3 turns. We're going to be about hangar 3. And we're going to pick up where we left off, and Cheer, it is going to be your turn. Both the transports have stopped. They're kind of back to back, and the doors have opened outwards like this, but everyone can kind of talk in between. Whoever's on the transports can go ahead and talk in between.
All right, so I'm gonna get out.
Actually,
Can you move between transports?
huh?
Can you move between transports?
You're probably gonna have to jump if you're gonna do it in between. It's something similar to the move that, because there's a decent amount of space in between. It's fine, but it's also like probably a 5-foot wall each one. So.
I mean, Adam, you haven't let the, I keep forgetting the name. It starts with an N, the cat.
Next to you, yeah.
What?
Next to
No,
you. You haven't let that go yet, right? You still have your stake.
correct.
Okay. So we want to get back there.
We're gonna try and convince everyone to get out.
Okay.
I'm in.
You're gonna have to go ahead and roll an initiative.
18. Yeah, 18
18.
total.
Nice.
A little bit much on my hardware.
Michael.
So, oof. So the first thing before anything happens, the droid TO1T notices you and is like, "This is the asshole that just tried to rob the bar."
No.
And he attempts to vault over the side to join or to like tackle you in the other transport, and he like trips in between and just like kind of smashes his head on the wall of the other transport and like is snapped back a little bit. Now he's okay, but he's clearly pretty decently damaged.
No.
Jason.
Damn it, Jason.
So he starts to, and he's like kind of struggling to get up and like kind of get back onto one of the transports one way or another. Jace, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna get out of the transport.
The 2 transports passed.
All right, so you're gonna get out on the exit, and we're gonna start. I'm assuming you're gonna want to start getting over to the Nexu.
Yeah.
So, or I wait for everyone, I guess, to some degree.
Yeah.
So you walk, you're gonna walk around because you're on the inside transport, so you're just getting out of the transport and just waiting for everyone there. Do you want to go ahead and roll perception?
I would love to. 18.
Very good. All right, so the Nexu kind of tracked. He now has some sort of emotional bond to Fasa. So he has calmed down to some degree, and although he can also smell the stake, so he's kind of come around to that area and at the length of his chain without pulling it, and is kind of just laying in the sand, waiting for everyone, or like kind of watching everything unfold and watching everyone disembark from the transports and looking at them all.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Fasa,
Hmm.
what are you doing?
Can I disembark and get up to the Nexu in my movement?
You'll still need it. We're still going to take about probably 2 turns to walk over to the Nexu.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start doing that. And could you is a Nexu something that's furry or is it just like scaly? What does it look like?
It's furry.
Okay.
It's furry and has like some long tail, like sort of like I don't know how to describe it, to be honest, but look up a picture of it. It's furry, has long. It truly is very cat-like, except very savage cat-like, and I think it has 6 eyes or something.
Sick. This is immediately. I decided that this is gonna be my pet.
That's my mistake, Alex. You were off to Hangar 9. Not giving a shit about the cat. But
We
I
made
was the
an
one.
emotional connection through the Force.
It is terrifying, Alex.
I showed up to this Nexu.
I don't know exactly how you spell the word Nexu.
Oh, that's from Attack of the Clones.
Alex,
Yeah.
terrifying.
Ryan, Nexu.
Alex.
That is not a cute creature.
Oh, he's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
All right. I'm gonna start going over the Nexu. I'd like to use the Force to give it more.
Do you still have more Force points? I thought you used them all.
Use the Force is like a skill that I can use, like acrobatics.
Right.
As a Jedi, it's one of my class skills. I can use the Force to give it like share. I used share emotions last time, but let me see what else I can do. I guess I didn't. Yeah. Yes, please. Well, I guess what I can do with use the Force, if I roll high enough, I can like give it like a short command, and I would want to give it like the sense of be calmed.
Okay.
I'm Googling what exactly I need to roll.
I'm rolling. Just tell me what you roll, and I'll determine the difficulty challenge or challenge level.
Roll it.
What's that hat, Rye?
25.
What does NHA stand for?
Nashville Humane Association.
Nice.
That's awesome.
For which he volunteers for.
25, you said, Alex?
25, I said.
What did you say, Case?
All right. You pretty handedly have given it some additional reassurance, and it is happily awaiting its first meal in days.
He's gonna be my pet, Alex, because I'm gonna.
Do you want to do a quick perception check as well?
Shared custody of this Nexu.
You can have him on the.
Blank in the head with a crossbow.
You want to do a perception check, Alex?
I would love to do a perception check. 19. I think I've got 26.
You become aware of the approaching speeder bike, who's kind of rounding the corner from hangar 6, 5, and 4, and is likely to, and had to take the long way around, will likely approach you within the next 30 seconds or so. And the Nexu is aware of it as well, but is really just dead focused on the party currently. And there's 2 sand troopers, and you see the 2 sand troopers that are sitting aboard the bike, one armed and one conspicuously unarmed.
Bogey's on our 3.
Yeah.
You're 6.
If I'm your 6, that means I'm on your 12.
No, I'm on your 6.
That's what I just said.
I know. All right.
We all
Ain,
Interesting.
that is to you.
Who?
Ain.
Okay. Can I get a quick rundown of where everybody's at? I just like,
Yeah. So the droid TONT is kind of straddling both of them. Tripped and fell, trying to get from one to another to strangle Jason. Jason has just exited and is moving towards the radar dish. Adam is still on his transport, and so he's the only one on his, and his towards the outside. Mike is still on the transport. Alex is with Kier off the transport.
okay, so my move is I want to get to the spot where okay, I'm gonna shoot the chain.
You're gonna try to shoot the chain?
Hell yeah.
Let this fucking thing
With my
go. He seems to
blaster.
like us quite a bit. We're getting
Yeah.
some heat.
I feel close. On. Ready to roll?
Yeah, so hold on a sec. We need to pull out blaster. I need
Better
to
hope the next dude doesn't think that you're shooting at him instead of the chain.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
I've been pumping it full of good feelings. I've been pumping it full of good vibes. So I hope it doesn't attack you.
Well, the vibes have been positive, honestly. Apparently, it doesn't think any of us are bad people, so that's good. I would also like it on my team.
Hmm.
Are you falling in love with this creature, Alex?
I motion, it's not my turn, but this is just strictly off the record.
I want a kitty cat.
I motion that we, from here henceforth and forthwith, we refer to the next suit as Scary Terry Folds McGillis.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it. Scary Terry Folds McGillis.
No, Adam, you can't name it. It's gonna die if you name it. You just can't name it yet. You can't get too close with it.
It's Scary
That's it.
Terry.
Scary Terry. That's
Scary
the name.
Terry.
If it jinx it, oh god.
Is that legal?
If you can do whatever you want. If you can, the one thing I'll add, Case, is you're probably about 55 squares, which is about a medium distance for your pistol, which will be a -5 attack.
And I don't have a good attack anyway. Okay.
Case, maybe wait, because I have a long
I
range
have a
rifle.
range.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. You know what? I'm gonna hop on to the transport that Adam's on. I eventually want to go back because I would like to get on the intergalactic transport. That's my main goal, I guess. But I also want to see this creature freed, and I would like to let that known to everybody.
Side quest. Oh, she really lets us know it.
Okay.
You've got my backing.
She seems to be trying a little hard.
All I have
at
is a
making us
blaster,
that
and I
she's
know that
scared.
that's not going to be very effective, but I want to make it known to everybody that I want it freed because it was Imperial guards that took it for random reasons that we don't know, and you're making fun of me? The Wookiee is making fun of me.
She wants to make it known that she actually does care. And she isn't doing this just because she screwed all of us over and it wants us to like her. She seems to be trying a little hard to make it known that she just cares about.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Do you want to get off and speak with the pilots of the transports then? You want to exit and go that way? And at least speak with the
Yeah, I guess I
pilots?
would like to, because I want to get to the intergalactic transport. So if I need to speak to pilots, I would like to do that.
Yeah.
I would like to speak to the captain.
You guys are
Let's speak to the manager.
you are right across from the transport. So if you exit the transport, I mean the intergalactic transport, if you were
Okay, cool.
you exit the transport now, you'll be able to speak with them next turn.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Alrighty. Plo, what are you doing with that big juicy steak you got?
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
What?
I want to dismount from the transport and make my way towards Scary Terry Folds, but can I do a perception check once I step out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Terry Folds.
That's dirty 20.
All right. So you look behind you and you kind of see that Ain is going towards the direction of the Galaxy Transport, but you have accepted that she's probably not going to leave without everyone, because she wants to see this animal freed. And you look towards the right and you see the speeder bike that is rapidly approaching with two sand troopers on it. And you've noticed that the Nexu, it appears that there's some sort of connection between Fasa and this Nexu, because he seems to be, each time he closes his eyes, it seems like the beast relaxes a little bit more and more each time. And she almost seems to be like sunbathing at this point, and which to in every other scenario was just like ripping, like causing self-harm to try and get out of this chain.
You're welcome.
Terry Fold McGillis.
I'm gonna take my turn to say you're welcome.
You said it'll take 5 turns to walk over there?
It'll take 3 turns to get there, yeah.
Do it.
I guess I'll start walking.
All right.
Hey, question, could he use like force points to boost his speed?
The speed, no. The speed doesn't change because that's based on your class of character.
Okay.
Won't increase at all as you level up or anything like that. Oh, sorry. Mike, that's to you now.
Okay, so
Burgers
this is
or
a
pizza?
question. There are 2 things I would like to do. I would like to try to repair the droid, and I would also like to try to shoot the chain of
What, the chain? Shoot it?
shoot. Yeah.
Our fries is decided on.
Right, with your
Is
crossbow?
that, yeah, am I able to do both in one turn?
Mushroom burger with
No. That's 2. Those are 2 primary actions.
Okay.
Although
I'd like to repair the droid.
you can give up your movement for a second primary action if we want to do that.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I don't need to, well, I need to move to get out of the pod or the transport, don't I?
Exports have stopped, so and you're the ones controlling them. So
Okay, so I'm gonna first repair the droid.
There's a different kind of mushroom burger.
so you're gonna grab the droid and kind of get it stood back up, like kind of pull it from your side over to the other. Go ahead and roll strength first.
Did you find it, maybe?
Yeah. Is the iron skeleton?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, what?
The,
I've already got 18 with a 4 mod. And then I rolled an 8.
fries.
So I've got,
20.
How about you, Meg?
What is
I
it?
got 30.
Mike try to do?
Or no, 20. No,
26.
I got with an 18. So I got 18 plus 4, which is 22 plus 8, 30.
You like fries or chips?
You successfully get it. You pull it back, you set it down, and just get them in there. And while you're in there, do you want to remove any, like, kind of remove some of the memory of what Jason's
Yes,
done?
I would like to pull his memory so he doesn't hate Jason.
We're gonna do 2 things here. So you gotta 1, fix the damage, and 2, do some software repairing. So the first thing we're gonna be doing is, it would probably make sense to do the memory piece first. So go ahead and roll a use computer.
So he's hacking this robot so that he doesn't remember the terrors Jason has caused.
Yeah, sorry, Jace. I'm not going to help you out much. I got 2.
All right.
Not my big priority. It's okay.
All right, and the other piece we're gonna go ahead and do is mechanics.
2 again.
Well-
Well, let me look at the adjustment. 7.
All right. So you fixed it to some degree. You didn't make it worse. In the fall, he lost 5 HP, and you gave him back 1.
Okay. I'll take it.
There is appreciation there. The droid does appreciate what you've done. He recognizes that it wasn't something you needed to do, and the fact that he is a droid and they aren't used to being treated with any sort of human emotion. So he does appreciate it.
Okay, well, I would like to use my poor mechanic skills as an excuse for the fact that we have a bike coming at us, correct? We got
Yeah.
2 people coming at us.
Yeah.
Can I exchange my movement for shooting them with my...
You already exchanged your movement for trying to hack and do the mechanics as your 2.
Oh, okay.
So, Jace,
Yeah.
you are walking towards the Nexu with Plo right now.
Mhm. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Just keep on walking.
Hey, take a shot. Oh, wait, you don't have a gun.
I don't.
Yeah, we got to take care of these people. They're coming for the transport, right?
You're coming towards the transport, yeah.
Shit, well, I'm in the transport. Everybody else is moving the hell out of there. Oh, geez.
So, Jason, you're gonna keep walking towards the Nexu.
Yeah.
And Fasa, where are you at?
I have taken 1 turn of movement towards Terry Folds.
All right. So there's 3 of you heading towards Cherry Folds. Are you just going to continue that way? You want to do anything?
I would like, so there's a speeder bike coming up at us.
Coming towards the transport currently. So you guys are distancing yourselves from the transport the more rounds you take.
I actually want to use move object on the speeder.
All right.
So it's coming speeding towards us, and what I want to do is I want to stop the inertia, and I always want to stop just the bike so that the stormtrooper just is taken with the inertia and falls on the ground.
All right.
If you give me a second, I'm gonna pull up move object. Because I think depending on what I roll, I can move progressively larger things. So I roll a use the force check, and depending on what DC I exceed, I can like different categories of bigger things. Would you say that this speeder is of medium?
It's large.
All right, so I have to. The DC is 20 to see if I do this.
Okay.
This is my standard action.
Yeah.
I gotta get 20. Come on. 2. It's a 2 on the dice. That's a 9.
You gonna use a force point?
Yes, I'll use a force point. So if using a force point like kicks it up 1 category larger, so that's 9. I think I can get it up to large size if I use a force point. Right?
What do you mean? What are you saying?
If I spend a force point, I'll be able to stop the speeder and let the stormtrooper just tumble off.
Yeah.
I'm totally gonna spend that force point then. So so what I'm seeing is like the speeder is coming just really fast towards us. I hold out my hand and I stop it. The speeder freezes in place, and the stormtrooper just vaults over the handlebars, and I guess takes some kind of damage.
You got to roll a 1d6, and that's what's added to your roll per each force point.
9. That's a 2. 10, 11. I'm gonna use a second force point to add a second d6.
All right. Do it.
2, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. A third force point.
All right.
16, which
You did a 20, right?
16. All right. So that's how many force points have I used? 2 or 3?
You used 3.
2. Oh,
3.
You're committed. Just go for it now.
Let's fucking
go
go
for it.
One more force point. Another 4. So
There you
16.
go. You got it. That's your 20.
Oh my God.
This is gonna work. Gosh darn it.
You got it.
Is that on a 20-sided die?
It's a 1d6.
I'm rolling a d6 to every time you use a force point, I have to roll a d6 and add that point
Oh,
to my extra modifier to upgrade the roll.
Yeah.
okay. Good enough.
And you get 4 friggin' points to make sure this stormtrooper eats shit.
Okay, so it's 2. So okay. Speeder
Jason
bike
should have done that in the bar.
basically hits a brick wall. The speeder bike just stops midair, and the two stormtroopers on the top fly off, and they are still flying towards, and they fly probably another 15 feet and then crash head first into the sand.
Do they take damage?
They'll take probably about 25% damage on their HP.
Worth it.
Like it? You like it?
And they're sitting there like with a bug upside down, like waving their arms and legs as their heads stuck in the ground like diagonally, and they're just flailing, trying to get themselves out.
Can I then use my move action to move another round towards the Nexu?
Yep.
Scary Terry. Scary Terry, yes.
Done and done.
Here, Terry, come on, McGillis.
All right, Ain.
Okay,
Yep.
well, I mean, I guess I'm still in the transport, just kind
You're
of
outside
waiting.
the transport now. You've moved towards the Galaxy transport.
Yeah, I would like to move towards a Galaxy transport, and I would like to, what?
Give me my gun back if you're not going to use it.
No, the point is, like, I want you to come with me. That's the thing. I invite everybody.
Don't you want to save this cat? Didn't you make it such a point that you wanted to save this beast?
She's trying to figure out a way off this desert.
My pistol isn't going to do anything for this chain. Like, I can't do anything for that. It's just not enough. I don't have enough power.
Then help me stay back and help me deal with the 2 guys who just fell off the bike.
Okay, okay.
Everybody else is going and trying to free this beast, and you
Okay,
made it
cool.
such a point
No,
to say
fine.
that you wanted to free it.
I want to help the Wookiee. Want to help Benzoro. I'm going back, and I want to help him.
All right, so you're gonna help him with the 2 stormtroopers or the 2 snowtroopers that just fell.
It's my 6-shot pistol, yes.
No,
Are you
it's my
moving towards them?
What?
Are you moving towards them, or are you gonna wait for Gonzoro to move with you?
No, I'm moving towards them.
Okay. So you'll probably reach them by next turn, because the distance that they've flown and your movement towards them, you'll probably reach them by the time you get next turn.
Okay, cool.
All right, Plo, we'll be reaching the Nexu on the next turn, and he's starting to get, you can see Terry, and he's starting to get excited. He can smell the meat. He also smells the severed hand that Kier has on his belt, and he feels like.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about that.
All right, so I'll just keep walking, but do a perception first.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
28.
Damn. So you witnessed the whole thing with the sand troopers falling off the speeder bike, and you see the 2 off in the distance a little bit back towards the cantina. There's the dock over there, and you see the 2 sand troopers that were waiting at the dock. You can see that they kind of are keeping an eye on what's going on in the situation. They saw the speeder bike eat shit, or make the other 2 people eat shit there, and they haven't moved, but they're kind of wary of the whole scenario. And you also see that it looks like way off in the distance, back at Hangar 9, they're trying to hack some of the controls for the transports. A couple of those stormtrooper or sand troopers are trying to hack the controls for the transports to try and get them moving again, so that they can join the rest of the team back around here where everyone is at. and you're going to continue towards the Nexu.
I'll get there next turn, you said?
Yep.
Perfect. Scary Terry.
Yeah, Scary Terry holds the Gillis.
Zoro?
Okay. I'm not in shooting distance of these sand.
With your crossbow, what is the range on that?
Simple range.
Within shooting distance, I would think.
So it is. I do have a ranged attack bonus. Would that also?
Yep, and that will come into effect as well.
Okay. All right. What do I need to roll to get it? Wait, yeah, it is. Isn't it my
So-
turn?
Go ahead and roll initiative first if you're going to take a shot.
Oh my God. After those 2 2s, I get a 4. I got 10.
All right. Go ahead and roll one more time.
Is this for initiative as well?
You have another initiative.
All right, I got 18 plus what's 24.
All right, so you're going to go ahead and take your shot. And let me check. Let's see what this distance is.
Got a 2 ranged attack bonus too. Not sure if that's for damage or accuracy.
That's going to be for, yeah, that is going to be for damage.
There is a ranged damage one too.
Well, the damage,
It's ranged attack bonus and then just ranged damage.
range only, okay. So you're going to roll a 1d20. You're going to add your base attack
Okay.
plus your, oh, I think that's already included. The base attack and dex mod is what your ranged attack is. So 1d20 plus your ranged attack bonus.
Okay, so it's just. Geez. I got 11. So I rolled a 9 and then I have a 2 ranged attack bonus.
All right. So you take one shot with your crossbow and you aim towards the nearest sand trooper, and a bolt just whizzes right past his head and misses him.
All right, so I'm down to 9 bolts.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. The storm, or the first sand trooper that you just shot at is going to go ahead and take the turn next. Both the sand troopers finally force themselves out. They've actually lost their helmets. They're too far buried in the sand and have totally given up their helmets, so they aren't able to come back to any of the other any reinforcements or anything. They're just full of sand and buried.
Ironic.
But they still have their blaster pistols, and they each take out their blaster pistol, and they first look at the crossbow shot, and they look at each other, and they aren't really sure if they're really concerned yet. They don't know if they show any concern, because they're like, this thing's shooting a crossbow at us. Like, how dangerous can this thing really be? So they decide not yet to engage and fight yet, because they are on fairly strict orders to attempt to any degree possible to keep the peace in the area, and they don't want to unnecessarily kill unless their lives feel truly threatened. And although there's been a lot of strange circumstances that they've encountered, they don't really feel threatened yet.
Okay.
All right.
Do I get to move at all?
Yeah, you can still move.
Yeah, I just want to leave the transport.
All right, so you're going to jump out of the transport and you're going to join. Are you going to be moving towards the sand troopers?
Yeah. Is there any way I can make an intimidating howl or anything for a voice action? I don't know if that's a thing.
You have.
Yeah, I want to intimidate these people. If I can lower stats or something like that.
You have
Not
a
sure.
rage feat that you can use. Let's see. This is gaining bonus hit points though, so that's probably not exactly what you want. You do default in, or you can use a feat of intimidating presence, which is built into the Wookiee race.
Okay.
Let's see if it. I'm trying to see if it says what that does for you. You can re-roll any persuasion checks made to intimidate others, but the result of the re-roll must be accepted even if it's worse.
Okay.
So you can roll a persuasion check, although it's an unlearned skill.
Am I even close enough?
Huh?
Am I even close enough to them to do that?
You can yell whatever you want. Yeah, you're definitely close enough. You'll reach their next turn. You're probably only 10 feet away or so.
Oh, okay. And like, sorry, a lot of questions, but a persuasion check, like, would I just persuade them to back the hell off and not say anything? Can I persuade them to just leave? I know they weren't intimidated at all, but if I could persuade them to leave and then tell anybody in the hangar who's getting ready to come and help them to just back off.
They don't have any ability to speak with anyone else.
Oh, wow. Okay, then I'm not gonna do that.
All right. Jace, where you at?
We gotta kind of wrap this up somewhat soon. We're having dinner pretty quick here.
Same.
We're pretty close to. I think once we reach and let go of the Nexu, then we'll see what happens there, and then.
Maybe it'd be better if we leave the Nexu releasing for the next time we play, because I feel like that's gonna open a big can of worms that we don't
Okay.
have time to.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We're gonna reach it on your turn, so maybe once we reach it, you can give it the stake and do some bond building, and then we can leave it there.
Sounds good.
All right, here's. We'll reach it on Adam's turn.
Oh, it's walking, man.
Just walking then. All right. Fasa, you're also on the trek over to the Nexu, just walking?
Yeah, so I'll reach it in my next turn, is what you're saying?
You'll have reached it. You guys all have reached it at Adam's turn.
And would you say the stormtroopers that are within 60 feet? Because that's about the range of my force disarm.
The distance, which ones? The ones that are that are at the transport that you just knocked
You
up?
have force
The
points
ones that
out?
I knocked off the speeder and then got their head stuck in the sand.
They're probably not within 60 feet of you, no.
Then in that case, I'm going to use my move action to get up on the Nexu, climb up and hug its neck. And
You're
I
not
can
there.
I'm using telepathy to calm it. Use the
Okay.
force to calm it, and then if that succeeds, to get up on it and start hugging it.
Okay. You'll be added at your next turn though, so you won't be getting on top of it until next turn.
Okay. Can I still use the force to calm it?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I just roll that now? Because this is still the telepathy power and use the
Go ahead and
force.
roll it.
Yes, nat 20. I'm rolling a lot of good nat 20s here, so 27.
Okay. That was successful then. So the beast is already calmed and like laying and almost sunbathing, rolls onto its back and like stretches out. Does one of those cat stretches, like just waiting for you to get there and like scratch its belly.
So is this the turn that I get up on it?
No, it would be next turn. You haven't reached the Nexu yet.
I'm coming for belly scratches.
All right. Ain, you are You have reached the sand troopers. You can walk up to the sand troopers now. You are within walking distance of the sand troopers now.
Well, I guess I just talk to a sand trooper.
Talk to it, shoot it.
Yeah.
All right. What would you like to talk? What are you trying to say?
I would like to know what they want, I guess, and if they're angry with us and what we can do.
All right, go ahead and use perception. Or go ahead and roll initiative, actually.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
We're doing bad.
The pattern continues. 9.
3? Holy hell.
Yep.
So you can you hear him through it. He has like some sand in his mouth from the crash, and he's like spitting some sand out of his mouth. And he's like, I don't know what the hell you guys are what you all are up to, or what kind of weird black magic you guys are doing, but we know that something's going on.
Poison him.
Poison into his mouth.
Okay. Well. I don't really want anything from this guy, I guess.
You have a fairly high persuasion ability, so utilizing that to some degree might be useful. The check mod is fairly high for your persuasion.
That's true.
Give us
Okay.
the guns. And don't send that guy off on us. They got somebody coming out to help them.
Okay, well,
Get some
fine.
guns out of it.
Okay, what will it take for us to
That's right.
give you your guns? I have credits if you want money. What?
Give you my gun. Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Okay, I'm not classically good at rolling, so. Hey, ooh, natural 20.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Yeah, buddy.
28.
28. All right. Let me set this
Mike,
here.
guns. Mike, you'll get a gun. Don't worry.
You'd be like,
So worried.
Get away with what you can. I'm saying get a gun.
well, it's pretty lonely out here. Like, what are you willing to do?
That's what you get with a natural 20.
God damn it.
Second base. It was good.
I don't understand Jason. I can't understand him at all.
Second
Very
base.
plain.
Okay,
Just
fine.
be front.
Second.
Second base.
Listen,
I
as soon
think
as
you
I can
make a
force
really good
someone-
addition to our team. You seem very handsome and muscular.
Those ripping muscles.
He's like, well, the punishment for deserting, I'm not sure that would be worth it, but maybe there's something that you could do a little bit quicker.
Perception, roll perception.
Okay, I'm gonna roll perception. Or maybe, let me think.
You have gather information too.
Gather information, let's do that one. Okay, gather information, 25.
All right, so you recognize that this is a pretty young guy. I mean, he's probably 19, 20. He's fairly young, and he seems like he's just some horny dude that's just doing whatever he's told to do and like doing in life, and he'll settle pretty easily, and like he's not challenging you, but he's like, all I really want is a handy. He's just trying to beat around the bush, if you know what I mean.
Hey.
He's not going to come out and say that, but it's pretty clear that He'll settle
It's
for
in his
something
eyes.
pretty easy.
Gotta get his bones off our tails.
Oh, I would like to make a deal.
Oh, God.
All right, go ahead and roll persuasion again.
You have 6 Make it.
I was
Okay.
hoping it won.
Handicapped.
17 plus 8. 21.
Pretty damn good rolls. All right. Do we? So can we make a deal or what?
Yeah, I would love to make a deal. Yeah. So what's it going to take? I would like some weapons, and I'd also like your friends to get off of our ass.
Like, well, unfortunately, both of our helmets busted in the crash, and the comm links aren't working, so I'm not gonna be able to control much of them. But they're probably on their way here to meet me. So, I mean, give me a quick handy, and I'll give you my gun, and just pretend like you disarmed me, and I'll just wave them over here, and just try and get whatever heat off of you I can.
Okay.
So we doing it right here or what? How about we
Action move, action move.
how about we hop back in this transport and you polish me off?
Oh,
Sounds
God.
good.
There's nothing like two siblings finishing each other off.
All right, so you're walking back with the first sand trooper that has the gun back to the transport, and you'll make it halfway, and you'll be there. We'll just say you make it there, and then you can perform your good deed for the day on your next turn.
Perfect.
All right, Adam, you have reached the Nexu.
I want to
The whole,
approach.
your whole sub party has reached the Nexu.
Yep, so I want to approach slowly. It's still cat-like, waiting for belly rubs, correct?
Yep.
So it's pretty calm. I want to stand out on the very outside of the chain length, just in case. But I want to approach very slowly, non-threateningly, set the stake down, and push it towards Terry Folds.
All right. So the cat in mid-stretch, kind of, he can reach a little bit beyond where the chain lets him go, and he's able to grab it, like hooks the stake with his nail, and he brings it in and like tosses it up in the air, cracks his mouth super wide, and you see these massive sharp teeth, and it just lands right into his mouth. And he just loving it, just like mowing down on the thing, just slurps it up, and then swings back and jumps onto his feet, and it's like seems like he's like ready to play. He's got his butt in the air, and it's just like all ready to play.
But
What do I still have left for my turn?
All you've just done a very that's really like a swift action. You haven't even done a real full motion, so you still have a full action if you want. You still have a movement action if you like.
So I would like to take a leap of faith and go towards the scary Terry Folds, and how do you feel with cats? Belly rubs. No, cats hate belly rubs.
Scratch the back of the head.
I want to
Scratch
scratch.
his neck right
I
below.
want to slowly reach my hand out and see how he reacts.
All right, go ahead and roll. Let's see. Let's roll a survival check.
Oh, jeez. Oh, survival. Woo! Do I have survival?
I mean, he's not close with Adam.
Oh, God.
You
Where's
love to
survival?
You love to hear that.
13.
Okay. So as you move your hand towards him, he snaps at your fingers, and you draw back your hand, but nothing happens. He doesn't pull or anything. He just isn't, and then you reach out again, because you hear him making some growling like noises, and you just put your hand back out, and he sniffs your hand a little bit, and he's just sitting there sniffing it. he's still a little bit unsure. You fed him and you smell like the food because you've been carrying it for a while. And he's still a little bit unsure, but he finally moves his head a little bit towards you and lets you put your hand on his head. And then you have a move action if you'd like to do a move action.
No, I'll just sit here.
All right. Gonzoro, you have
Okay.
just witnessed AIM
I think we're
taking one of us in. What was it?
I think we might have to stop here. We're about to have dinner.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
Just
I think
note
that's
where
the-
we are in initiative, and then we can pick up next time.
Yep, Mike's up.
Yeah, I got plans. Oh wait, I don't get to go right away next time. Damn it.
I also have plans.
So we have met the Nexu, and we're at these sand troopers. Hopefully, there was a lot of movement in this one, so I'm sorry we had to do a lot of waiting turns, but just the nature of the game. I think what we can do, if we continue to keep it more, if we continue to keep those movement turns rapid, I think it will be less painful in the future. If we do more of the skipping turns,
Well,
that's
you gotta have, I feel like if we have better plans too, we don't spend 5 turns driving to the hangar and then immediately turning around and going back.
right.
Yeah.
I had to resolve that stormtrooper thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that was a lot of fun though.
That was
Love that.
so
Yeah.
fun.
Cool.
Best session so far.
I think what we might be able to do for our next meeting is maybe while I'm in Michigan, we can call the peeps at Denver and we can just have one big Michigan call in.
Yeah.
And
Well, we're up at the cottage, Rye. Well, we're up at the cottage.
either up at the cottage or the next weekend, because we'll all be together Saturday and Sunday. So
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
All right.
cool. I'll let you guys know. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you.
Yeah.
Peace.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Peace.